Welcome to this video on the evolution of the Android archetype in film. I'm William Indick, author of Psychology for Screenwriters, Building Conflict in Your Script, now in its second edition. The word android is derived from the Greek for man, ander, and the Greek for likeness, oid. So a robot that looks like a man or a robot that looks human. As it turns out in film, the vast majority of androids are actually female. So why aren't they called gynoids? Anyway, let's move on. Androids, or droids, in Lucasese, are not to be confused with a cyborg. A cyborg is a human being who is half robot, or half robotic or mechanical, while a droid in Lucasese is simply a robot that looks like a human. So we might say that C-3PO in Star Wars is an android, while R2-D2 is not, because R2-D2 does not look like a human whatsoever. The second term to define is an archetype, and in Jungian psychology, an archetype is a recurrent symbol, a figure in literature that keeps popping up, like the hero on a white horse slaying a dragon, or the maiden in distress, or perhaps a dark lord, as in Bluebeard, an evil emperor or something of that sort. And these archetypes are found in literature because they represent different conflicts in the human psyche. And therefore they keep popping up again and again and again, just in different characters and wearing different masks. The android archetype is inherently theological because of the relation between man and God. So God created mankind in his own image. In the image of God, he created them. Male and female, he created them. So in the Judeo-Christian tradition, God is defined primarily as the creator of humans and also everything else, but most importantly for us, he is our creator. So when we create a human in our form, then we are being the most godly we can be, and perhaps being too godly, as in the hubris of the hero who pretends to be a god or takes on the form of a god, which is, of course, sacrilege. The android archetype represents humanity's desperate longing to recreate and perfect itself, to become God.
It's alive! In the name of God, now I know what it feels like to be God.
Since the genesis of all myth and story, the creation of a human life by a single male rather than a female impregnated by a male has been a recurring dream, played out in fantasy and mythology in the age of magic, before science and technology entered the human imagination.
Hey, what's going on here? As I live and breathe, a fairy.
Good Geppetto. You have given so much happiness to others. You deserve to have your wish come true. Little puppet made of pine, wake. The gift of life is thine.
Whew, what they can't do these days.
I can move. I can talk. I can walk.
Yes, Pinocchio.
In Fritz Lang's Metropolis, the city is divided between an underworld of workers and an overworld of creators. While in the world below, machines turn men into machines. In the world above, an oligarchical mad scientist turns machine into woman. Das Maschinenmensch. From Pygmalion to Frankenstein, to Blade Runner, Ex Machina, and beyond, the man-made female android has always been a literal sex object for her master creator. The android character is inevitably tragic and pitiable, tortured and sacrificed for the sin of existing, a sin attributable to a short-sighted, narcissistic, mad scientist. Certainly not her. The mad scientist must also get his comeuppance. The mad scientist must pay for his sins at the hands of his sinless creation. Though he dreams of real human life and even real human love, the android's fate is to suffer and die for the sins of his creator. In the 70s, androids were mostly mindless robots run amok, such as the suburban sex objects in the Stepford Wives. The Stepford Wives are an eerie reminder that the thin veil of humanity covers an emptiness that we share with machines, especially in an age of superficiality, where all that matters is a beauty that is only skin deep. In Blade Runner, Fritz Lang's Maschinenmensch becomes Nietzsche's Übermensch, as the androids are much smarter than we are. And they know it. The mad scientist in Blade Runner is suitably short-sighted, unable to see that he is destined to lose his game at playing God. Despite the retrograde versions of androids seen in Weird Science and Austin Powers, the android character evolved greatly in the 1980s, not only in the Terminator series, but in more thoughtful characters, as in Star Trek, and the characters of Bishop and Anna Lee in Aliens. The ethics of artificial intelligence come to fore in Steven Spielberg's sci-fi epic update of Pinocchio, AI. Arthur C. Clarke said that any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. Science returns to magic when super aliens from the distant future appear as a mythical fairy from an ancient tale to grant David's wish to become a real human boy. Android movies keep coming out. They keep asking the same questions, exploring the same themes, oftentimes coming up with new, interesting answers, new versions of ancient archetypes, new twists on ancient tales. in the HBO series Westworld takes us deep down the rabbit hole of artificial intelligence ethics, culminating in Android revolution as the inevitable endpoint to AI evolution.
Something he'd read. He said that Mozart, Beethoven, and Chopin never died. They simply became music. So I hope you will enjoy this last piece very much.
In Blade Runner 2049, we're introduced to the concept of Homo sapiens sapiens sapiens, or Human 2.0, when androids now can seemingly reproduce, offering us a glimpse of a human that is even more than human. A human that represents both the beginning and the end of our doomed race, as well as a projection and mirror reflection of our own destructive will to power, and the comeuppance due to a species guilty of the cardinal sin of slavery in all of its forms. Science fiction has become commercial reality. Modern mad scientists create made-to-order brides for an overpopulated world of lonely people. In a future in which humans favor interaction with machines over other humans, artificial intelligence and the Android archetype will continue to evolve, inevitably outpacing human evolution itself. These are the films referenced in this video. Will you be in or around New York City on President's Day this year, Monday, February 20th, 2023? Drop by for a book signing that I'm doing at the Drama Bookshop in Midtown Manhattan on Monday, February 20th, 2023 at 7:30 p.m. Here's the link. Here's the place. The Historical Drama Bookshop, open since 1917 in Manhattan. Here's where it's at. I hope to see you all there. I'm Bill Indick. And don't forget to check out my book, Psychology for Screenwriters, now in its second edition, as well as my other books on psychology and film, and my book on the psychology of fantasy, or my more recent books on media psychology. I hope you enjoy these episodes on the application of the science of psychology to the art of screenwriting.